Hello, sixes, receiving teachers and students. Thank you. You may take a seat. Now, before we move on to our lesson, I'd like to find out from you what you learned in your last lesson. Yes, Helen?
Scale reading.
Okay, you looked at scale reading. Thank you. You looked at scale reading. All right? What did you actually do in the lesson? You looked at scale reading, but what did you do? Carol? Someone would like to help Carol answer? Yes, Samantha? What did you do in your last lesson? Yes, Carol?
We use the scales to find distance.
Excellent. You used the scale to find the distances on what? What did you use? Distances where? On what? Receiving student? You looked at the scale, you used the scale to find the distances where? On what? What material or which distances from which place? Yes? Yes, Carol. Carol will complete his answer.
On the PNG map. On the PNG map.
All right, excellent. On the PNG map. You were learning how to use scales on maps to find the distances from a place to another place, or a province and to another province, or from another province. Is that correct? Yes. All right. Thank you, receiving students and sixes, for your answers. Now, I'd like everyone to focus. Everyone, I have a dinner plate. This is a dinner plate, and this is a saucer. Which of these items do you think is heavy? Receiving student? Is it the saucer plate or the dinner plate? Let's have Melissa. Receiving student? Receiving teacher, choose someone to give an answer of what they think.
Dinner plate.
Dinner plate. Thank you. All right. Melisha thinks it's the dinner plate. What do you others think? Do you think it's also the dinner plate? All right, we'll find out, okay? In this lesson, I won't correct answer yet, but in this lesson, we are going to be looking at what is weight. So that is our topic for this lesson. Receiving teacher, I believe you brought the 2 plates that we asked you to bring, which is the dinner plate and a saucer plate. Pick 2 students to come up to the front and check which plate is heavier than which plate. Thank you. In the model class, we will have Melisha and Minol to come up. Please come up here. Get the plates and fill the plates. Thank you, Minol. Get the plates from Melisha and you compare the weight. Thank you. Stand there. Stand there. To the front. Pretend that you are. All right, thank you. Now, Melisha has said that the dinner plate is heavier. Can you give a reason why you think that the dinner plate is heavier? Minol, receiving student? Melisha thinks it's the dinner plate that is heavier. Can you give a reason why you think that this dinner plate is heavier than the saucer plate? From what you have, from the heaviness that you have felt carrying the plates? Yes?
Because the dinner plate has more weight.
All right. Melisha thinks that the dinner plate has more weight. But why do you think it has more weight? Why?
Because it's big.
Because it's big. Minol, what's your reason? Why do you think the dinner plate is heavier? Why do you think the dinner plate is heavier? Or which one do you think? You didn't give me your answer yet.
The dinner plate.
Dinner plate. All right, why?
Because the dinner plate is bigger than the saucer plate.
Excellent. All right, thank you, both of you. Both your answers are correct. Receiving students, if you also had, because the dinner plate is bigger than the saucer plate, then you are correct. Now, if I was to measure this, they used their hand and what they felt, the heaviness they felt. Receiving students, if I was to measure these plates correctly or accurately, what can I use? Or what kind of instrument can I use to get the weight of these two plates accurately, correctly? Receiving students? Yes, on air.
Scale.
All right, very good. Receiving student, did you have that same answer, scale? Yes? Any more things? Any more? Or you just have that? All right, in order for us to find the weight of these two, we have to use a scale that measures weight. So here I'd like to introduce the scales that we have here. We will be using these. So receiving teacher, if you were able to find a scale to use for this lesson, I'd like you to introduce that scale also to the receiving students. And we also have these scales that will be used with the model class. Will be also using these scales. We have the bathroom scale, which is an electronic bathroom scale. And we have a kitchen scale that we will be also using in this lesson. All right, if you have your scale in the classroom, you can ask them to weigh the plates to get the proper weight of the plates that we used in our lesson. All right, can we have the same student, maybe Minol, to come up and weigh the plates that we used? Just instruct, okay, it's on 0, okay, and weigh. Use the kitchen scale. What's the weight there? All right, count. Okay, counting. 700 is up here. Okay, you have 655. All right, Minol thinks it's 655 for the dinner plate. And the saucer plate? Take it down, saucer plate. Okay, give your answer, please.
The saucer plate is 352
52
grams.
grams. All right, thank you, Minol. Okay. Anyone who would like, Melisha, come and weigh the plates. You're going to compare with Minol's answer if he's correct. Try and record your answer. What's your answer? Get the mic.
$650 grams.
Okay, weigh the saucer plate. the mic.
The salsa plate's weight is 352 grams.
352 grams. All right, thank you. Now you will see that, you will see that this kitchen scale, quiet, are you listening, receiving student? You will see that this kitchen scale, for each scale division there's a highlighted big stroke, can you see? To a very small stroke there is equal to 5 grams. 5 grams. So those small scale divisions, it's 5, 10, 15. Where you see the big stroke is equal to 25 grams. So you will see, just like a clock, you will see that it has small scale divisions. So here it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Where it's highlighted in black, where it's darker, it's equal to 25. So let's try and count from there. So if that is 25, the next one will be 50. Let's just put the dinner plate and confirm. All right, we're going to confirm to Minol and Melicia's answer. Watching carefully, are you watching? So we have 25, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, okay, to 500 grams. Then we have 650, and then we have the small scale division there. Are you watching? Please, the ones in front you watch, so you will help the ones next to you, which are at the back. So we have 655, 655, 660, 665. It should be 675, if you were to measure carefully. So for this, it should be 675 grams. That's for the dinner plate. Then we have, like I said, the small scale division is 5 grams. So we have 250, 300, 305, 310, 315, 320, 325, 30, 335, and 340. So it would be 340 grams. See? So that means that our friends didn't count carefully. So if we were to measure the plates, like I said, we were to use a scale. So you can see that if an object is heavy, it's because it has what? If it's heavy, it's because it has weight and has mass. Now when we talk about mass, like we had Minol and Melisha answer that, because the plate is bigger than the saucer plate. That is when we are talking about mass. The amount of material that was made to make this plate was bigger than the amount used to make this saucer plate. So when we talk about the amount of material to make something, we're talking about mass. Because the amount is bigger, or more material is used, it has more weight. All right? Okay, those are the examples of measuring scales that people use. All right, before we move on to our exercise, I'd like to ask, have you seen people use scales around the place? Can you name a few places that where you have seen people use scales? Yes, Rudolph.
Hospital.
Hospital, very good. Any more places that you know of where they have used scales? Yes, Tahila?
Shops.
All right, in shops, okay, very good. Let's have one from that group. Where have you seen people use scales? Hospital is one, shops is another. Receiving student, tell your teacher, please. All right, Elipoli?
Factory. Factory.
Very good, in the factories. Why is it important to weigh an object? Let's say in the hospital, we have weighing a baby at the hospital. Why is it that people, what is the importance of weighing a baby at the hospital? Anyone? Or why is it important to weigh cash crops like coffee, copra? Why do they go and weigh those cash crops? What is the importance of weighing those items? Lorraine? Why do people weigh their baggage or luggages at the airport before they travel to Hagen or travel to Kimbe? Yes?
To give the amount of price.
All right, excellent. Now, people weigh their luggages before they fly on the aircraft. One is so they know the amount of money they will pay. If there is an excess luggage, that's one. Another is so that the engineers, so that the people who are working with cargo will know how much weight to put on the plane. If they don't know the proper amount to put on the plane, what will happen to the plane? What will happen to the plane, receiving student? The plane can crash because of too much weight, or the weight is overloaded. For a baby, why it is important to weigh the baby at the hospital is simply because they want to know whether the baby is healthy or unhealthy or malnourished. All right? So that's the reason for weighing. Or they can also do that to give the right amount of medicine to the child. All right, let's move on to our exercises. Now, receiving teacher, I'd like you to place your items on the front and group the students into 3 big groups. Otherwise, you can group them according to the items, 6 groups. So we have a pocket Bible and a medium-sized Bible, a 32-page exercise book, and a 45-page exercise book. So I'd like you to distribute these items and formulate your groups into 3 big groups. Have one group work on two pair of items, and with the items that they have brought from home, they were also asked to bring grocery items which have their weights on them. They're either packed in tins, packets, or containers, and distribute to the groups. So they will work on exercise 1 and exercise 2. Group 1, can you come and get your items? Group 1 will compare the weight of a 5 toea and a 20 toea coin. A dessert spoon, no dessert spoon, you have the teaspoon and eating spoon. Come and get your items, please. Group 1. Group 2, you will work on these items: pocket Bible, medium-sized Bible, the 2 exercise book, one which is 32 pages or 45, and 96 page. Come and get yours. For group 3, you are going to work on comparing the weight of a short boy student and a tall boy student in your class, as well as a slim or thin girl student and a chubby girl student. Now, what I'd like you to do, listen carefully. What I'd like you to do, you get the items, and for group 1 and group 2, you're going to use the items. Yeah, your instruction is here. Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to use the palm of your hand. That's for group 1 and group 2. You're going to use the palm of your hand to compare the weight of both items and work out which is heavier. Is it the 5 Toya coin or the 20 Toya coin? The 32 exercise book or page exercise book or the 96 page exercise book? Once you work out which is heavier, you record, and then you use the measuring scale. Group 1 and 2, you will use the kitchen scale to measure. So group 1, if you're finished, you pass that scale to group 2. They will measure their items. And group 3, this is what you're going to do. The strong boys, select a strong muscular student in your class or whoever is stronger for the boys. And they will try to lift the short student and the tall student to try and compare their weights. Who is heavier? For still on group 3, choose a girl student, quiet, choose a girl student who is also strong, who has more strength, to try and, quiet, to try and lift the slim student, slim girl student, and fat girl, okay, of chubby girl student. As soon as you finish, for group 3, you will use a measuring scale. Now, receiving teacher, if you don't have a measuring scale, you can just allow them to just use their strength to compare the weight, and then tell them to move on straight into their exercise. The items that they have brought in class, distribute 3 each to each group. They will arrange from the smallest weight to the largest weight. And you record on your table. We have the table on the PowerPoint slide as well. Now you will see for activity 2, receiving students. Now for activity 2, we have an example. I have put an example on the PowerPoint slide for you. It's on the PowerPoint. You can see that we have, for example, we have gold nuggets. What is the weight of this item? So for our gold nuggets, we have, the weight of this gold nuggets packet is 25 grams, or the gold nuggets that is placed there is worth 25 grams. Now I'll just repeat for your items. If you can't tell the difference between the weights, what you can do is you try and get the items that you brought and compare the weight, which is heavier, and then you arrange them according to the smallest to the biggest. All right? Thank you. You can start. Those ones who brought the items, start placing it on your table. Irene, put your items out, please. Those ones who brought this, put them out now. You're going to use them in this lesson. Salome. Please. 76. Put this one there, you will use that. We're on the exercise, so it's okay. Very good on you. Smallest to the biggest. There's one there. start filling in your table. Work on exercise too. Okay, Alan? Okay. Hurry up, please. Time is running. Okay, work out your answer quickly. Okay, thank you. Enough? Thank you. Next one. Struggle. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, enough. All right. Who is Sevilla? Just say it. Okay, thank you. Okay, weigh yourself. All right, thank you. Look at me, Madhu, look at me. All right, thank you. All right, next three. Go. Lift. Okay, all right, thank you. Stand on the scale. Come on. No moving. Thank you. Next one, Milika. That's okay. Don't look to your friends. Forget about them. 2, 3, go. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, move your right foot like this here. Like this, so they can, yeah. Okay, thank you. Milika, bring the scale forward. Bring. Okay, put your virus down. I believe you have finished now with your exercise. If you're not complete with your exercise, you will complete that for homework. Receiving student, if you're not finished, you complete that for homework. But before we sum up, I'd like each group to just give me a brief answer on your items, especially activity 2, where you are to get the weight of the smallest item and the largest item. Let's start with group 1. Your first activity, 5 toya and 20 toya coin. Which is heavier? Which item is heavier? Just give me a brief feedback. Anna Lolo? The items that you weighed using the scale, just give me a brief explanation of which item is heavier than which item. The others, listen.
The 20 toya coin is heavier than the 5 toya coin.
All right, thank you. What about the next one? The spoon, teaspoon.
The soup spoon is heavier than the dessert spoon.
Sorry,
The
the
soup-
dessert spoon. The soup spoon is the big one with the round mouth. Yeah. Is that one heavier? Or?
Yeah.
All right.
Heavier.
Okay, the soup spoon is heavier than. What was its weight?
40 grams.
40 grams. And the dessert spoon or the teaspoon?
10 grams.
10 grams. Did you hear that? All right, let's move on to the next group. Group 2.
Maggie had the smallest weight and Ramu Sugar had the biggest weight.
Okay, the Ramu sugar. And what were their weights? The smallest weight?
10 grams.
And what was that?
Maggie,
Maggie cube. And the largest weight?
500 grams.
500 gram Ramu sugar. All right, thank you. Last group.
I found out that Ken is heavier than Madhu.
And what is Ken's weight?
56 kilograms.
And Madhu's weight? Madhu's weight?
$34.8 kilograms.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Nora, give us a brief explanation on the two girls.
I found that Milika and heavier than
Milika is heavier than Michaeline. All right, and what's Michaeline's weight?
396 kilograms.
396 or 39.6 kilograms.
396 kilograms.
Good try. Michaeline, can you correct her, please? All right, I think we'll leave that. You do that for homework, okay? Correct that exercise for homework. Go through it again. Okay, with that, let's move on to, okay, we found out the weight of various items. Let's look at our summary. 60s, receiving student, this is our summary. Weight, when we look at weight, weight is how heavy an object is. Measuring scales are used to measure the weight or mass of an object in milligrams, grams, kilograms, and tons. Our key phrase for this lesson is heaviness. Next lesson topic will be conversion of weight 1. All right, receiving teacher, I'd like you to bring these materials or even ask your students if they can bring these materials for our next lesson. 5 times 1 kg packet of rice, 2 times 2 kg packet of self-raising flour, 3 times 1 kg sugar. Please, I'd like them to bring those items for our next lesson topic. We will be changing, converting weight from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So we need those materials for our next lesson. With that, thank you very much, class, for participating in this lesson.